Hello there, my name is Ben and welcome back to my channel. I've got a brief Q&A hopefully for you. These are actually questions that were asked on Ask FM, which is that app that I use. But I kind of forgot that the app existed because Ask FM changed the badge of the app to an owl for about 6 months. I had no idea what that app was, so didn't know they changed it or why the fuck they would change it. It changed back recently to Ask FM and clicked on it and had thousands of questions, and so I've just picked just some that I saw, and I'll do more because there were loads, but I thought some of these were more let's talk about it questions, than just answering. And I don't think there's a character limit, but still, I don't know who these are from, so if you asked it, then thank you very much. But I'll just go from the top. Do you like the royal family and the Queen? That's a good question. I've got nothing against them personally, and I guess they're good ambassadors for the UK in terms of like the classic tourism and ethos and that great British swagger that we all have. But I guess the real crux of it is that these are people who have been rewarded for being born well, which is shit. Like, then there's no incentive to work for what you. These people haven't. I mean, I guess you could say that they do work hard because they go around and do interviews and stuff, and they do a lot of FaceTime all around across the country. I don't know if I could do that. I don't know if it's hard work, but it's the type of work that I can do. But it's not really a good mindset to apply to up and comers, I don't think so. That's the only reason, the real thing I have against them. Just they were born well and were rewarded greatly for it. So, but I have nothing against them personally. I've never met them. Beyond belief, I've never met the Queen. I swear I've been asked it 20 times in my life. Have I met the Queen? No. It's always by Americans or Canadians as well. But it's always by Americans. Have you? I think they think there's about 100 people in the UK. One of which is the Queen, and the rest of us are peasants. But I haven't met the Queen, and I have no intention to meet the Queen. Question 2. I'm going to stop saying 2 because I'm going to start losing count in a minute. Got one question in and it's 3 minutes. What is your favourite guitar that you own? Got some props for some of these. So it's got to be this one. This is the Custom Shop PRS MM. I have 3 of these, and they're all identical because I really like this build of it. And the problem with buying or making custom guitars, and I've done it in the past with Fender, who are really amazing, but I've had some issues with their custom shop, is that you can buy one and then in 10 years you'll buy another one, and it's different. Their manufacturing methods change a lot, so I decided to buy 3 in one go, and it's completely customized. It's got a colour that you can't get. It's like a greeny, greyy, bluey colour. There's book matched here. You can see this line down here. If you don't know anything about book matching, then look it up. The PRS Custom Shop does it better than any guitar company on earth. There's some incredible looking guitars. This isn't even like the best looking. They have some that look so vibrant. You think, how are you doing this with wood, gloss, paint and lacquer? Like, seriously, it's incredible. But this is a beast and has some incredible pickups in this. They're actually custom shop pickups, but they're wired differently, so that this would normally, when you have it this way, fully neck, it would always pick up the neck pickup. On the right, it will go to bridge. That's the kind of classic way, the Les Paul and Strat way. But actually, what this one does is pick up different elements of each of the pickups in a different matrix of combinations, which is really cool. So you can go from having complete kind of single coil jangle over to full humbucking heavy guitars, and it's the first time I've actually enjoyed having a toggle switch. I fucking hate toggle switches. I always think, why are guitars, well, we're doing a lot of work on that right now, why aren't guitars more intelligent? That switch is one of my bugbears, but this one's really fun. It doesn't just do the standard kind of just location based pickup selecting, so that's cool. The neck on this as well, I don't know if you can see this, it's like a really, really patterned neck, just a single piece of wood that's hyper controlled, and it just looks amazing. It's almost like a zebra, but in 2 tones of light wood. I don't know if you can see it on camera, but fucking hell. I have no idea how they do that as well. And that's something that they can't replicate. Because on all three of my guitars, this pattern is different, obviously, because it's real wood. One of them's got quite thick. This is like the middle. There's another one that's really tightly based wood grain as well. Back's mahogany, which is very, very rare because it's really heavy. But I like having guitars that I can feel the weight of, because I think you get a better performance when you feel like there's some resistance there when you're playing. So I like that. It's got virtuoso machine heads up there. I don't know if you can see that. They're like almost like flamenco Spanish style machine heads there that are locking on this side. Standard fretboard. I don't have jumbo frets because I don't have jumbo hands. Then has the standard inlays that the PRS custom shop ship. So that's it. And also you can use a whammy bar with it if you want to, but I'm not a cunt. So well, kind of, but I don't need that at all. So only that's for the dive bombing talentless peeps out there that need that shit. Not talentless, they're very, very talented. People who dive bomb are really talented, because to do this, you gotta be super talented. I'm fucking with you. So that's probably my favourite guitar right now, although I have 4 custom orders, all from 4 different companies that are all due by the end of the year. So I'm really interested in that, and by the end of the year my answer might be different. So I look forward to showing some of those though, because some of them are quite interesting. Question 4, not that we're doing numbers anymore. Is there a type of person you fundamentally can't work with? I love that question. I've been thinking about it as well since I had that question. I don't think so in the music and creative world. The only people I'd find it hard to work with are lazy people who don't push themselves to be better. What I mean by that is I'm taking the hat that I use in business and my day job with personnel and assistants and stuff, and people who are shit go. They just go because we have no time for any of that. And applying that to music, which you think, well, you can't do that because music's more airy-fairy and it's more kind of, it's a bit intangible like that. But actually it's not. And I apply those kind of strict business rules to music, where I want to constantly be pushing the boundaries of what we do. It's why we're doing projects like portraits and things like that that are ridiculous. Why I've got a double album for Zombies, and that music is vastly more complicated than any music we've done before. Like, and it's bigger, it's got orchestral parts in it. We had a quartet and did a load of stuff. I want to always push what I'm able to do, because I listened back to what we were doing 10 years ago and it was no good. Like, there has to be an evolution. There had to be an evolution. And it was only 2 years ago I started considering my singing voice again. I started really getting into singing, joined choirs and started doing that stuff again that I didn't think I'd bother with, because I was always roughly happy with my voice. It was a bit gritty, a bit gnarly. But actually, when it came to doing portraits, I realised that my voice was going to be weak compared to the background. I needed to get my kind of semi-operatic stuff back. Like, that's really important. And holding those really long legato notes, it's really important. That it only comes with practice, and you get that, and you get that with the guitar as well, because your fingers start hardening so hard, and your voice starts becoming so consistent all the time. That's really important. Sorry, I'm really off topic, but so the only people I can't work with are people who aren't good enough. Like, I find it hard to step into a room where I know I'm better than someone else. I'd like to consider myself the worst person in the room. So with portraits, with Zero Royal, I'm surrounded by hyper talented, dedicated and incredible musicians. And at times I feel like I'm the worst person in those projects, because there is such an array of talent in those projects, and that fucking interests me so much, because it's a bit of an ego thing, being reset to zero, like being deflamed like that, or deflated, sorry, not deflamed, deflated like that is a really important thing to have, especially when you're writing music that needs some sort of honesty and that can find some sort of longevity as well. I think it's really important. So no, the only people I find it hard to work with now are the people who don't, not the talentless people, the people who don't push and grow their talent, and the people who expect that things just get done and don't put any effort into it. The amount of people I know who just sit at home thinking, why am I not a rock star? I've even heard people say it, like, why is it not happening? Why the fuck do you think it's not happening? It's not happening for any of us either, anyone, you know, and we're pushing it all the time. And it's not that any of us want that, but it's something that you have to push all the time. You have to get better all the time. And, you know, Callum often says, why are we releasing some of the old Two Down stuff? Why do we release some of the Quiet One stuff when it's out of tune and stuff? And, well, there's a reason for that. I don't find that stuff embarrassing because I see an evolution. You know, you could listen to any artist's original demos and feel the same thing. Doesn't matter how talented they are now or how incredible you think they are now. Back then, no. Everyone starts from somewhere. And I remember listening to some John Mayer demos. You'll probably find them online. And John Mayer, he's got a really nice custom PRS that is in this range as well. That's called, Super Eagle, I think it's called. Something like that. It's really nice. You should check it out. A couple more knobs than mine, but it's really good. I tried it the other day. And he's a really good guitarist, obviously, John Mayers. And I think he's a really nice guy as well. I've actually met him a couple of times, and I think he's a really nice guy. Although he's had a slight ego problem recently. But he's dealt with that really well. But he had some really dirty demos that I don't think anyone was supposed to hear. But I like that because what it shows is that he's put the effort in and dedicated time to improving those parts. You know, I wanted to improve my musical ability, especially with stuff I'm not really used to, and then my production ability, which is probably more important to me right now. I remember my piano consultant, because I was at a bloody conservatoire in London, and this was I was younger and I was really, really into piano. Then overnight, fucking hated it. Overnight, I thought, what am I doing? And really wanted to pick up other instruments, and didn't go straight to the guitar, but guitar was the kind of step that I wanted to take eventually. And I remember my piano teacher saying, you will never ever be a guitarist, you'll always be a shit guitarist. And so 12 years later, probably more than that now, I'm not sure I'm a shit guitarist anymore. Maybe I'm a shit guitarist. Who knows? Don't know. Anyway, that was a really long-winded answer. I apologise for that. Question 5, because there's no numbers. What is your long-term objective with Hurt Records? I don't have a long-term objective with Hurt Records. Hurt Records was set up so that I could license my own stuff and feel vastly comfortable with retailing my own stuff. I've been burnt loads of times before with record labels and production companies and licensing companies and distribution companies recently as well. That's been with Hurt. Distribution's been a bit of a bitch. But having Hurt there helps with all of that stuff. Also, with the legal side of what I do, and having injunctions, and then we've had some recent issues with Spotify that have been resolved very, very nicely. Had some issues a few years ago with copyright with a few bands stealing some of our stuff. One band completely remaking one of my songs, and that band will not be named. We completely remade one of my songs, lyrics and all. Didn't ask, or apparently did ask, but didn't get a response for them. When we looked into it, turns out they didn't even ask, because on their end their email never sent, it was still in their outbox. All these stupid excuses. But what I'm saying is Hurt's really nice to have as a legal entity, so it's not just coming from one of us working at Hurt, so that's really good. Because it'd be weird if someone just sent, like Richard sent something to a record label, they think, who the fuck is this? But just something with records on it is great. So it's a nice entity to sit behind. It makes everything more comfortable. Do you play Pokemon Go? Yes, lots. I have assistants playing it as well, so that they can walk my eggs around, because I gave up on that shit ages ago. But yes, I'm pretty high level. It's all it asks, unfortunately. If it asked more, I'd give you a lot more. Telling my history of Pokemon, my involvement with Pokemon, and all that stuff which has been hidden. But it just asks if I play it. I play it. Could ask me if I have how many super rares I have, what level I have, how many gyms I've taken over. Nothing. It just says, do you play Pokemon Go? Yes, I play Pokemon Go. The best thing about me playing Pokemon Go is where the offices are in London, there are 4 Pokestops on my seat. So, and the whole office has 4 Pokestops around it, because there's Costa, Starbucks, although these aren't the places, but there's like murals outside each of them which are Pokestops. And then there's a church and a law court as well, right in where we are, so I don't have to move to get a ton of Pokemon. I don't know how people play it in the middle of nowhere, because it must be expensive. I've never ever spent anything on Pokemon Go, but I bet people do. Which instrument do you look forward to playing the most? Very easy, Baldwin upright piano. Let's move on. What are your holy grail bits of audio gear, and do you own any of them? I don't really own any. I have loads of audio gear that I'd love to buy, or love to get, and we're working with Tree Audio now, who are a company that Eddie Kramer started in the UK, and or is involved with heavily in the UK, and fuck me, they're building us a mixing desk now, which is a 20 input summing mixing desk for the new studio, and it looks like something that's come out in one of the Beatles sessions and sounds not dissimilar, so I cannot wait to get my hands on that and go and try it. They haven't agreed a price with me yet, and I've seen their price lists, and we haven't talked numbers yet, so that could completely fuck everything up, but we're helping them out too as well, so maybe not, I don't know. But that's going to be one of them. My mic in there, my Neumann 47 FET, is fucking amazing. The 87 is really good for like an alternative vocal mic. Got the Neumann stuff, got a Pultec, SSL preamps, which are gorgeous. I mean, the standard stuff like Pro Tools HDX3. I don't know, that's pretty much it. I don't know. I don't really have dream gear. I probably will in the future. I'm getting more into that, definitely. What is your dream guitar? Different question from earlier. Dream guitar, that's a tricky one. I've got my Watkins Rapier 44 that's being rebuilt now. That's got to be it. Like, there's the only reason that's it is because I've actually had dreams about that guitar. I'm playing it for a really long time, and I couldn't think of much better than that. Probably the Watkins. I'm getting it back soon. Oh man. But yeah, that's probably my dream guitar. Because I've had every other guitar I could think of that I wanted. At some point I've had 67 Les Paul, I've had 59 Strat, still got that, Tobacco Sunburst Strat, American, an official Strat, and that was a good buy. What else have I had that's interesting? I don't know if I've had this interesting. Actually, I was going to show these earlier, but these are quite interesting. That phone is completely gone. That fell quicker than I thought it was going to fall. This was once a very nice guitar, and then I got involved with it, and it became this. So this is a SG. I used to play SGs a lot, and it's really heavy. And this actually belonged to Kelly Jones of the Stereophonics, and then I bought it and fucked it completely, and Frankensteined it. Took these 2 pickups up, the ones with the crosses on, they don't work anymore. This one does tick, and disconnected all of this shit. Although this is actually going somewhere now, so I will have to reconnect all of this so it actually works. Because all I ever used was bridge pickup, full whack all the time, and that was it. But this is a gorgeous guitar and plays amazingly. Used to anyway. I haven't played it for a while since we tracked the record. Actually, that's just since we tracked from 4.28. Actually, the demo, not even the record. But that's a cool guitar. It's got just a standard cream back. And then another fun guitar. I've shown this a few times, and these are fun for a myriad of reasons. But this is a fun guitar. Now this is the PRS SE. So this is an entry level PRS. I'm really PRS. I have probably 14 or 15 PRS. But this is, I have 4 of these actually. Exactly this as well, completely Frankensteined and fucked up. Because I liked this. This is always the 2-down guitar for me. Even at that live thing the other day, I played 2 of these that were in 2 different tunings. Because it's nice to have different tunings. So this is a standard PRSSE, and it has an overtuned bridge. It has nail bomb pickups by Bare Knuckle. Has Scheller machine heads and standard neck. Not done much to the neck at all. And it's passive because active guitars are for dickheads and people who need. I don't understand who needs active guitars. I was talking about this the other day. Like, what are we playing? The other fucking cool thing about this is it's like, it's not that heavy and you can use it to behead or maim at least, and it's super strong, and because it's got the Evertune in it, you can fucking fuck it up completely and it will not ever go out of tune, which is really nice because lots of guitars don't do that. We were talking about this the other day, active pickups, like seriously, who the fuck is using active pickups in this day and age? I mean, I guess it's those people who need so much distortion on their sound because they can't play for shit that they need the active pickups or something. I don't know what that is, but I've never ever used active pickups. They are a complete waste of time. They sound shit, and maybe they sound good somewhere. I've never heard that. They always sound too loud and fucks up everything when you put them through pedals. And I guess the only thing that might sound cool through is a wah and a distortion, but it's completely unnecessary. So that is that. Okay, next question. Do you have a preference for any of the Zombies albums? That's like saying which of your children you're going to pick. Although I don't really consider those children. They're more like bastards. Which of my bastards would I pick though? Z2. That was quick. Fuck me. Yeah, Z2. It's the only one that's a relevant, an interesting storyline. And it's got its own little storyline, so it comes full circle in itself, and it fits with the other storylines of the other albums. It's the only one that I can listen to full on. The other one's got to be Z4. But again, that's a storyline for a game in the future. That's for a game that hasn't been announced or won't be announced for a very long time. By a company that is pretty new as well. But, well, new because of the divide that's just happened. You hear more about all this eventually, but that's got quite a cool storyline as well. The songs on that are really good. They're really, really solid songs. But Z2 is nicely heavy. Really liking the Z1 remake. I'm quite liking the Z3 remake as well. We're kind of redoing all the parts, real drums, changing all the parts, stripping out of Z3 all of the nonsense that was unnecessary. Just layering in some cool shit. And kind of the same with Z1, although not really doing that much relayering, just remixing and new drums, because that was pretty solid. But yeah, Z2 and Z4 are probably my favourites, although it's nice to get nostalgic and listen to Z1 again. Do you enjoy writing music for games? No, not really. That's the end of it for me. I haven't got any interest in doing anything else. We were working on something for ages for Fallout 4 that never came about, and after that was kind of like the last straw kind of thing, and I will release that eventually, but it was just an annoying series of events that led to that not getting released in time for anything. What's been your favourite? Oh, that's different though. Writing songs for music? No. Soundtracks? I'm really enjoying that at the moment. I'm doing a soundtrack for 2 games. I've already done 2 early this year, and I'm doing a documentary. Hopefully going to land a documentary soon as well. I'd send like a 10-minute bit of audio through the day before yesterday. They're going to tell me if I've won that, because that's got a critically acclaimed director as well, which is really cool, so that should get some traction. And I think I'd suit it, although I have no intention of changing anything I do at all for anyone. When I write music, I want it to be how I want it to be, and I don't like changing that for anyone. And I've made that very clear. So maybe I won't get it because they're like more subservient people who would be up for changing their creative ideas. I don't do that. So, what has been your favourite moment since starting Hurt Records? Oh, it's been so many cool bits. Every time we do a music video or a live show, or Quiet One in Q was really good. What was that, like a month ago now? If that. That was fucking amazing. Oh man, I don't know. But even things like the chapel with portraits was fucking amazing. That was so much fun. Oh, I was really ill for a lot of that, but it was still really good. I don't know, man. It's been a ride, and it's only been a few years. But we've got so much coming as well. So many records coming and so much music coming. It's a good time to be Hurt Records. Do you have a concept for the next Quiet One album? And does it follow with the dreams and stories flow like the first record? So I'm not retarded, it's just right on where the cracks are on my screen, I can see. And no, I don't have any of that. My job now is to go on holiday in September because I've worked since, I think we said 2010, solidly, 7 days a week, apart from Christmas and Halloween and Kwanzaa, I should say. But yeah, I work solidly and don't have time for holidays or messing around or any of that shit, or gaming or anything. So when I come back from that holiday, I'm going to go into Quiet One mode and spend 10 days writing 10 songs, or 10 days writing songs at least, for an album. Don't know if we'll get 10, but for a kind of mini album, I thought that would be really cool to see if we can fashion something cool out of that. But no, I don't have an idea. I want to go in every day and think of something and do it on the spot, because that's the exciting bit for me, is to do it right there and then. Are there any TV shows, games or films you're looking forward to? No, I don't watch TV, don't watch films, don't play games. I really don't do any of that stuff anymore. It might get confusing because Will has my PS4, so he plays on my account. You might have noticed in our videos it says 2 Down Music is killing things. That's him, it's never me. So no, I don't have the time, or I don't have the time. I really don't. I'd love to as well. I'd love to think that I have the time, especially with all these deadlines at the moment, especially getting portraits ready. And I've got 3 other deadlines as well. I just can't do it. And that's just my music side as well. That's not my real job, that's the music side. And last one, what does it mean to be a futurist? And does it align at all with your choice to be a diplomat? That's a brilliant question. Once again, what does it mean to be a futurist, and does it align with your choice to be a diplomat? I like when someone says a diplomat, because it wasn't even a thing until like, what was that, 4 years ago, something like that. And now all of my friends all call themselves diplomat. All the people I've met and have explained it to have converted, have decided to take that choice, and because it makes sense. There's nothing in that doesn't make sense. You're a better person than anyone else. I know you're a better person, metaphorically, than anyone else. You're all equal, obviously. But if you believe in a book that stones gays, kills children, allows underage rape and all sorts of things, we beat you. You're not even coming close. So, but what does it mean to be a futurist? So I have a real interest in being in the future. Read a lot of books about the future, or used to at least, about the future and what the Earth will be like for future humans. And there's some amazing people, Ray Kurzweil, even people like Sagan were quite into human investment in the future. The thing about looking into futurism and being a futurist, I guess, is that, or being involved, futurist just means you have a desire to understand the future and take into account your actions and its impact on the future. But it's very doom and gloom, really doom and gloom. The type of doom and gloom that keeps you awake at night, especially if you have kids, because you don't realise how soon things are going to change. Even the most lenient projections are in our lifetime, which is really bad. That's why we're looking into, even here where we are now, looking into sustainable systems and things called robotic farming, which is very interested in. I might do some videos on that as well, because we have a tiny stretch of land that we'd like to plant 5 vegetable patches on, all that have completely solar powered robotic farming. There's a huge Kickstarter going on right now with a friend of mine called Joss, who's an amazing entrepreneur and is working on robotic farms and really interested in that and becoming self-sustainable, because food's going to run out, and there are horrendous ways to deal with that issue. Things like, they call it vitamin castration, but actually it's just chemical castration, but in poverty-stricken areas of the world, areas where there are baby booms and huge population influxes, castration is a huge deal, and it's currently being talked about in serious ways by scientific communities, which is horrendous, because it's almost anti-diplomat. It's controlling people who don't know they're being controlled, because this will be rolled out without people knowing. That's the optimum way to get people to castrate men, is to roll it out without them knowing. So it'll be done via aid packages, and well, if it's done, it will be done surreptitiously is the key. But that's only one tiny portion of futurism, but it's really all doom and gloom for humans. We've really fucked ourselves completely. So in that way, it doesn't align with diplomat. But the nice thing is that you can take that contextual analysis of the human progression and apply that now to being a better person now, and to live sustainably. Eat vegetarian all the time. You should always eat vegetarian anyway. There's no reason to eat meat, and you save a lot of money as well doing that. And obviously don't smoke. Try and use cars that are vastly more environmentally friendly. If you have to use cars at all, use environmentally friendly cars. There's huge ways that you can improve your footprint as a human, and leave a clean footprint, and that's a big deal. And that's a big part of diplomat, and that's why I do it. It's good fun, and it's always exciting because it's always new stuff. We're right on the brink of all of these incredible ventures that are going to make being a human so much more pleasant for the rest of humanity, because we're very, very selfish as humans. We're this tiny anamorphic microbe that is vastly jealous and selfish, and we need to eradicate that ideology almost immediately. If even our grandchildren are going to survive well, then we need to eradicate that ideal now. So yes, it does intertwine. I could talk about futurists and futurisms. I've said that weird. I could talk about futurist, being a futurist, and futurism for fucking months. If you want to hear more videos about futurism and the ideologies behind it, I could talk about that. Definitely love to talk about that. But there you go, guys. There's a few questions that I thought I'd answer. There's a load more, but it's 1:25 and I've got to get back to portraits. Sorry, any excuse to leave you. Bye.